like beatboxing and screaming Mortal Kombat was not the best thing to do right sure before the recording, but we'll see what happens. Let's say, Nick, you got to use both hands for this. Just the way you're like, I'm committed. One, two, three, clap. One, two, three, clap. One, two, three. Haha, gotcha. Shit. Simon didn't say. Oh gosh, let's looking at me serious. Look, officer, I didn't do nothing. Okay.
All right, tell that to the judge, young man.
No, don't laugh again. Don't laugh again. It's like an
It
exotic
finally happened.
creature.
I broke Tyler. Yay! It's not me being broken.
It's it's like a pair of two exotic caterpillars meeting under the moonlight of Glenn's nose. And I can see the spaghetti that they eat together, like Lady in the Tramp.
I love it.
I can't do a podcast while crying, man. This is killing me. Oh shit. You're gonna Brandon it? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good down here.
The hero I don't deserve.
What a good Midwestern accent, Glenn. I enjoy it.
Oh
Makes me
yeah.
heartwarming because it's to me that sounds like a Minnesotan accent, which is close to a Canadian accent, and I'm like, yeah.
That's what I was trying for.
That makes me sad because I'm from Michigan.
I don't know what it is. It's like it's just the Minnesotans that are known to be like the cousins to the Canadians.
Yeah.
The cousins of cousins. Yes. All right. Oh, probably should ask the big question. Should we roll this? Who's hosting? Should we roll to see who gets it?
Roll to see who hosts?
Yeah.
I have to go get dice then.
You can just type in roll d20 in the like the secret chat. Okay, we're doing this. Yep. Exclamation point roll d20.
It didn't work.
I didn't see. Oh,
no, in the server.
Discord server.
Oh. In the secret hall.
I guess we should have determined. I guess it's Bapperson rules.
That's what I assumed we were gonna go by.
You did great. Yeah. Oh, that means I'm not safe then.
No, you are not. Yeah, because your crit failed.
I crit failed.
You're guaranteed to have to.
No. Nick rolled a 9. Glenn rolled an 18. I rolled the 1. Okay. 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 If I'm gonna host, then ooh, that's too strong. I didn't want to. I just had to sniff it just to wake me up. I didn't want to actually drink it.
Wake me up before you go.
Nick looks like what is Illidan from World of Warcraft looking at the skull of Gul'dan. Just the way he was looking at his vape rig. Oh shit, that's right.
None of you. Burning Crusade, isn't it?
Yes, actually. Or Warcraft
I know who
3.
Illidan is.
You know who Illidan is?
I know who Illidan is.
Who is Illidan?
Illidan's the big bad guy. He's I think he's what they made the demon hunters for in Legion.
That is true, yes.
Yeah. See, I know some stuff.
I'm impressed.
Good work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious,
because,
like,
Eugene's a big WoW nerd in terms of lore and stuff. So anytime there's like a new
Really?
release or something, he'll tell me some things, and then sometimes I remember. But that's he's part of why the Demon Hunters were made when Legion came, because everybody was invading and shit was going down. And then Demon Hunters came up and they're like, all right, we're just gonna fuck shit up and help people, kinda. I
Like
think.
90% accurate, yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
impressed for somebody who's never touched it, as far as I'm aware. Uh, yeah, like his idle animation before you start to fight, and like his first fight is him brooding, looking at a skull, and you're just like looking at your vape rig. I'm like,
Yeah, because I haven't turned this on in like weeks. And also, it helps that one of my favorite streamer that I watch a lot, and he's got a statue of Illidan in the background of his setting. Um, he's a he's a fucking nerd. He's got a statue of Illidan, and then he's got a Hand of Ragnaros that was custom 3D printed with LEDs, and Mournfrost as well, hanging on the wall.
yeah,
I don't know what that one is.
Frostmourne.
Frostmourne, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
don't know
You're
what
in
that
the.
is. Is it another
Uh,
legendary?
it's the Lich King's weapon,
Oh shit.
and I'm sure you probably heard of the Lich King, at least in the name.
Arthas.
Yes. Yep.
I love this song, Arthas, my son.
No king rules forever, son. Okay.
Obviously, you haven't met me, Papa.
All right. Fuck it. This is it. Just a little.
I feel like I need to be talking like this. Something low. For the short man.
Need something made?
My cousin Balin will give us a royal welcome. A royal welcome.
Darunya.
Belloc.
This is a patience exercise. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest, episode 83, coming hot to you guys, podcast listeners. This is going to be January 20th. I'm going to be your host today, Tyler Benito. With me today is Nick. How's it going, boss?
Going all right. But I think we have a slightly more special guest with us today, Tyler.
Well, the way you suggest that might be questionable, just the way it was detailed, but fuck it, I agree, yes. And our other co-host over here, Glenn, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Just, every day I'm shuffling.
Glenn sounds normal, thankfully, but for the audio listeners, you might notice that when he talks, you hear less of the bristle of his glorious mane that surrounds his mouth region. And motherfucker now done shaved his beard and has a mustache now, and my god, is it beautiful. No. And some reason
So if you ever wanted to have a Minnesotan state trooper on your show, might we recommend you hiring our friend here, Glenn Houston. That's Glenn Houston on Twitter. Looks like Huston and two
for
N's.
only $23.99 an hour, Tom Selleck's younger twin can be yours.
Yeah, and
God,
we take
that
20%
thing's
of
beautiful.
the cut, me and Tyler, between us.
As
so.
a
Royalties.
little brokering fee.
Yeah, of course. Plus, we'll get video games. We'll give you something.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
oh yeah.
You'll definitely see some of it.
Mhm.
Good jeez, guys. Ah, shit. Glenn, besides, looking beautiful with that glorious looking mustache, anybody, please, if you're listening to this, Glenn, you need to share to the world those beautiful little not even little, they're glorious caterpillars. I can't say the word. Caterpillars. I just did.
You did it.
I did. You did it. You did it. Did it. Yeah. Now we go on to Glenn as he tells us his week. Yeah, we did it. We did it.
My week was wonderful.
Wunderbar.
I went
Tell
down
me
to West
about it.
Hollywood, and there
Yeah.
was a club that was based out of a trash can. But when you went inside, it opened up into the sewers. But it wasn't just the sewers. I was trying to do that character.
I was gonna say I can't.
Bill Hader does on SNL because I wanted to cover up my mustache because I know it's just a little difficult to deal with sometimes.
It's okay. It has magical
but-
properties. What? You went to West Hollywood?
No, it was totally. I was just making crap up.
You lied to me?
Oh,
I
But
got
then
excited.
but then a club out of a trash can sounds very Hollywood. It
It
sounds like
is.
something all the A-listers would go to.
Yeah.
And they're just huddled around this fire burning in this dumpster, and then there's just
Danny
like
DeVito's
guys.
inside just eating trash.
Of course,
Trash
he
man.
is.
Eating. They just start throwing
I-
trash and eating.
I just wonder where, honestly, after watching that show, where's the acting? I
In
doubt he's
SNL?
just. No. In Always
It's
Sunny,
Always Sunny?
I don't think he's acting anymore. I think he's
No,
just
I think-
he's just
yeah.
doing what he always wanted. He's become what he always wanted to become.
Ever since his guest appearance on Friends, he's just being everything he wanted to be. There's no acting. It's just Danny DeVito being a weird guy, and he's totally embracing it and loving it, and I'm fine with it. So
And then I started
Yeah.
blasting. I think. Oh man, I love Danny DeVito.
it's about
So-
the implications. So
So glad. Tell me about your week.
I have been doing a lot of cleaning this week, as it's been rainy the last couple days, so it's kind of kept me from being outside too much. But
Oh, it's been wet. That
Um,
sucks.
yeah, no, I love it. I'm really enjoying it. But it just means that I'm a little more, like I can't just like go for a walk, So I was like, oh, get some cleaning done. Part of it was our roommate got really like he got in a cleaning mood, and then when one of us gets in a cleaning mood, the rest of us kind of follow suit. So I clean
So,
a lot.
Is it like
Um,
ambitious, or does it feel more like shaming at this point? Like, I can't have a dirty room if his is pristine, kind of
Oh
feeling.
no, it's like shared spaces that
He holds
initially I
up the
started
banner
thinking,
that's essentially a
"You should
broom
clean
with a
this,
ribbon.
and this is mostly your stuff, so you want to clean that?" And I go, "Yes," and I do it.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like with me and Eugene, would be like, yeah, the bathroom needs cleaning, yeah, the kitchen needs cleaning, and then we just both like the motivation to do it until we do it, and then the moment
Yeah.
one of us starts, and it's like people who can only go to the gym, like myself, if there's somebody else that's going with them, right? And then there's like an appointment, like they're accountable now, right?
Yeah.
So the moment you see
Right.
somebody actually do it, it spreads to you, and you're like, we'll just get it over with, kind of.
Right. You just need that tiny little push of like town acceptance almost. Like hey, if they can do it, that means I can do it, right? Let's do this together.
Yup.
I like
Speaking
that.
of that, I've been getting more consistent at the gym too.
Nice.
With a friend, along with other things. But as a result of that, I think I've just been really sleepy. So I'll go to bed at like 11:30, maybe midnight. Wake up at 5:45.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. But then I'll come back and fall asleep at 7:45 when I'm done at the gym, and sleep until 10:30. And
Huh.
and then I'll take like a nap after I'm done streaming, and then I'll go to bed at 11 again. So I'm like only actually awake for like 10 hours a day, and I don't know why I'm so freaking sleepy, but I just can only assume it's cuz I'm not used to going to the gym anymore, and it's just taken a lot more out of me than I'm used to. So,
Oh yeah, part of it
been
could be
weird.
routine, but part of it could also be, and this is something I'd recommend everybody to check, vitamin D levels, because you'd be surprised by how lacking they can be for people who even live in areas that's bathed by sun. Like my dad and my sister live in a desert, or they used to at least, but my sister was critically lacking in vitamin D, and she
Really?
spent more time outside than I did, and my levels were kind of like, like they were like not great. I was a little deficient, but I spent most of my time indoors. So it's variable from person to person. So for anybody else listening too, if you're feeling like a lack of energy, just get your vitamin D levels checked, because you need at least the on the supplements, it's measured in UI or IU or something, and you need at least 10,000 a day, and you don't normally get that much except from the sun. That number could also be complete horseshit. I know you need at least 5,000. 10,000 was, I think, what's generally recommended.
I mean, as a third
I had no
shift
idea.
truck driver, especially during the winter where I hardly see the sun, I can concur. It's nice to have. It's nice to have. That way I'm not falling asleep, in the passenger seat every time. Man.
Yeah, I had no idea. Thank you for that.
So, Glenn, you've been seeing quite a bit of rain. It seems like Nick and I have been seeing something a little similar. A little bit colder, a little bit whiter. Snow. Filthy, filthy snow.
Boo.
Goes the
Wonderful, wonderful
dynamite.
snow.
So,
Yeah, we've gotten, I think, like, and this is not a lot, and I'm not going to do the thing and Glenn, you've mentioned this before, and we like every like state or every city, whatever, is like, yeah, it's fucking cold for us. Oh, you think that's cold? No, it's cold for us. But then for Vancouver, because we don't have the infrastructure, it's not meant to snow a lot here. I believe over this week, one night we got 1.5 feet of snow dumped on us.
Wow.
That's a fucking lot, Nick. I don't know what you're talking. Like, as a Michigan person, I say that's a fucking lot.
1.5 feet in some areas. Around my area, it only went up to about 1 foot.
Only 12 inches. Wow.
But it
So much.
That's what. Not what I hope. I'm not gonna make the joke. I'm not gonna make the joke.
So
I'm better than this.
It trapped me in my house for a day or two, and it made going to school, or at least the motivation to go to school, a little difficult, because it's not that I have a problem with public transit. It's without the snow, it's like a 10 to 12-minute walk to one of the train stations.
Right.
With the snow, it's about 20-25 minutes, because I have to be a little extra careful because it's a little hilly and ice and stuff.
Right.
And I've got like
you
heavy
live on an
boots,
elevation.
and then my feet just fucking ache, and then I go to an acting course that's like very physical. Like we do a lot of like running around because of like all these team building games that we're playing. So it's just the snow has just put a little dampener on my mood, just because I can't do what I want to do, like how I want to do it. But it's not a big deal. It's just me. That's just been my biggest struggle for the week, really. But also, we've learned pretty quick. Vancouverites learned pretty quick after snow. After the first couple of crashes, then they learn how to drive okay. So I've not had any issues while I've driven through the snow. Yeah, but beyond that, I have a tech gaming conference that's coming up soon. I don't actually know what it's called. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, it's going to be like a series of workshops and discussion panels led by local video game companies. It's being hosted by UBC, the University of British Columbia. Time for networking at the end of the event.
I was going to say, is that a chance for you to get in with some of these companies?
That's what I'm fucking looking for work next, like soon. So
Nick Hill's big break right here.
We'll see. All I know is that there's 2 workshop sessions. One of them, I can't remember who's leading the first one. There's like 3 different ones going on. The second one, there are 2 different ones going on, and you can sign up only for one in each time slot. And then for the second time slot, I believe EA is one of the companies that are presenting. Guess who's my second choice? Not going to that fucking EA workshop.
Aww.
Nah. I'm holding on to my.
You'll be afraid you're going to be sent to the camps over in the Nylon Mountains or something? What's going on here, buddy?
No, I just refuse to. Again, it's not the people who work at EA. I just don't want to be part of a company that has a shitty executive team such as EA.
But you could change it. You could work from the ground up. Change the system. Yeah. Make EA great again.
That's so difficult to do from like such a low position in such a a big company.
It'd take you 20 years, but you'll get up there, or you'll die trying. One of the two. Who knows?
Yeah, FIFA 45 is going to be out by the time I'm like the CEO of EA, and I can actually make change.
FIFA 45 does not have loot boxes, but now you sell your soul for a lifetime subscription.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Your literal soul.
Too
They found a
niche.
way to monetize it.
Yeah, no, it's I'm not interested. It's the same reason why, especially because I'm in like a design field, we get a lot of intern opportunities with like Google and like Microsoft, and they're not bad companies per se, but entering a internship position for those companies, sure, it'll be a great opportunity, great to have on my resume, but I'd rather much be in a place where I can have more of
Fun.
an effect.
Oh,
No, not
yeah,
even
that
fun. It's
too.
just more of an effect, right? Because it's you from everything I've heard and read, it's difficult to grow from such a low position in these bigger companies because they're just constantly bringing people in. They're bringing specialists in, or they buy out an idea, or they buy out a product, and they bring those specialists in, and then they start making changes and doing the things, and then you just kind of like trail on and tag on to those people, kind of thing. Um, yeah, no, just I've been doing a lot of thinking about my life moving forward because I am reaching that point now where I'm about to graduate and I have to figure out and make plans and actually take action.
That's totally fair. If you were able to shoot for a entry position, what would you be looking for?
That's difficult because it's purely the nature of my degree. I do everything from animation, architecture, web design, graphic design. It's so I and I'm not like amazing at any of them. I'm
Don't
decent
sell
at
yourself.
all of them.
Hey, this might be used as reference. Nico Chodimela is fucking fantastic at everything he's done so far.
Can I finish?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence is key.
No, I'm confident. It's just uh realistically speaking, in comparison to some of my peers and some of the work that I've seen, I'm really not that great. But where my strength lies is in communication and bringing teams together and making a team work. And so my end goal is to be a project manager, but then I wouldn't be able to get a project manager position from the start. So my first entry level job is going to be whatever I can get my hands on that seems interesting and I can grow from. So we'll have to see. But I will be applying to like the video game industry, the film industry, and like event management companies and stuff. Those are the areas I'll be focusing on.
Good deal. My
Yeah.
apologies for cutting you off there, sir.
No, I appreciate it. No, like I really there, I wasn't trying to like be negative or be down on my. It's just like realistically, I know where I stand in terms of my skills, and my selling point is my communication.
Hey, Nick, you're like 2 meters tall. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm like 179
I don't know meters, dude. It's either 1 or 2, and I know you're
centimeters.
not one.
179. Uh,
One is like 3 feet and two is like 6 feet. So there's a pretty big difference between one
Right.
and two, right?
Either you're a small creature or a medium-sized creature, and
I'm just under 6 feet.
Okay, so just under 2 meters here.
It's actually 180 centimeters. That's two. And anyway, Tyler,
Yes.
how's your week been?
Much like Nick, last weekend was a blizzard. It's kind of weird, but interesting that all the snow that's been hitting Michigan has actually been happening on the weekend, which stinks. It's like, oh no, I can't go outside and do activities, but it's like, guess it means I sit inside and play video games. But more importantly, it doesn't affect my job nearly as much, besides, the urge to want to be home as soon as possible before the storm hits. But it's been a good time. It's been snowing a lot. Hopefully it clears out. It's like 36. It's a few degrees above freezing right now. Ooh, so we just got hit with like maybe only about 5 inches, but it's enough to make people drive like, maniacs and all that. So I'm hoping, this is the sad part, it's not going to happen. I'm hoping all the snow melts, but half the snow is going to melt, but then it's going to freeze over tonight, which is
Yeah.
rough. But over on my end, on Nick's recommendation, I finished a Netflix series because it was only 8 episodes, and I got to watch it all while I was riding passenger in the truck.
Oh yeah, ooh, I forgot to ask. What'd you think? What'd you think?
I
mean, if you
finished
didn't
the.
like it as much, if you didn't
We
like
sh-
it as much, that's fine.
We probably should say what I'm talking about. I watched The Witcher, and that's a Netflix series. Now, as somebody who's played only about half an hour of the first Witcher game and then touched nothing else whatsoever, ask me anything.
What did you think?
I think it was a spectacularly well done show. There was some interesting ways that they handled. Usually, it was two main timelines that they were trying to work with, like two main stories with an occasional third every now and then, just to do like you know, how did this character come to be kind of situation. Also, and this is weird for me to say, I was not expecting Netflix to have this much level of adult content. I was
Yeah.
never expecting that, but apparently The
That's
Witcher's
surprising.
all about that. Like, I'm sitting here like trying to watch the first episode where it's Stregobor in his tower, and I'm trying to like sit here over here with another fellow adult male driving the wheel, and all of a sudden I see
Spoilers, by the way. If you haven't watched The Witcher, we're going to be discussing story elements, so please just
I'm
be ready
being
to be spoiled.
I'm being fag, I guess. There's a lot of bosoms everywhere. I was like, wow, okay, yeah. This is it's weird because it's like you get like a line crosses you. You don't cross the line. The line crosses you. It's like, oh, it's this kind of show. Okay, cool. This will be interesting. It suddenly started giving like Game of Thrones like hardcore vibes suddenly, and having no idea who you know Geralt of Rivia is. I have no idea. The Butcher of Blaviken. Now Nick's doing spoilers.
No, that's known from the games. That's lore from the game. So if that's not specifically from the show, they just tell you how he got that moniker.
Okay, so since as someone who's never played the game before to know that that's not a spoiler, it might be a spoiler, Nick. It's a good show. I really enjoyed it. I think the characters are actually kind of relatable. I was thrown off by one of the characters, aka Yennefer, like their story of how they're coming to be. I feel like her story kind of got rushed a little bit, but they also did skip forward 30 years, so I guess that would make sense to explain, her ambitions in the long run. Nick looks like he's giving like the I could see it, but I beg to disagree kind of look.
Yeah, because of how much happens from this point on. Because from now, like this was all based on short stories from the first two books, which were like one of the books was just a collection of short stories, which is what these episodes are based on. Yennefer, Geralt, and Ciri's story really like takes off from now. So because witches and sorceresses and sorcerers in the Witcher universe are groomed to be advisors to political powers and
Right.
affect change in the world. So that's really all she was doing. She got bored of that, and now you're gonna see the path that all three of these characters take. And this is where like the real story begins. So if it helps, also I know a lot of people were confuzzled by the timelines. They're not doing it from this point on. They just wanted to do that for the first season just to establish the
I
characters.
mean, they tied it up pretty well at the very end. They're like,
they
oh, it's like cool. Yeah, they wrapped it up in a pretty little ribbon. Just to make sure I understand, when I hear the name Ciri, I feel like I should have heard that name before. Let me ask you a question. In Witcher 3, Geralt is looking for a person. Is that Ciri, perchance?
Yes.
In the Wild Hunts? Okay.
Little girl.
Everything connects. That's great information.
So the Witcher 3 game takes place approximately like 12, like somewhere between 10 to 15 years in the from that point, from that ending of the first season.
Wow. Okay, that far ahead?
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Okay. Just gotta make sure
because in the Witcher, because in the Witcher 3 series is 21 or 22.
Okay, sure. I believe you. There was a lot of characters that are pretty cool. There's some of them, some characters that died and made me sad. There's some characters stayed alive that also made me sad. And there's no there's some explanation.
Who did you want to die?
Are you sure you wanted to say that? Because that might technically count as spoilers.
Maybe you can put it in the chat.
It's a mage. The butcher should have finished his job is what I would like to say, but
Cool.
Okay, everybody nodded to that one. there's a lot of cool twists and plots points that got revealed by Geralt usually. Like there's cool moments where it's like the Witcher knows what's really happening behind the scenes and then points it out during like a heated moment. It's like, huh, he fucking knew from the start. I sure in hell didn't. Like a big example would be the Witcher was going to a he was protecting somebody and got, was in a position to where he realized that the queen might have told him to do something out of sheer desperation for one reason or another. I'm not sure if that's making sense because Nick's kind of nodding. So far, I'm really upset by the law of surprise as well. I don't like that law at all. It's kind of a scary law, and I'm kind of surprised that Geralt actually ever agreed to any of those, ever.
Well, so the way they phrase it in the show, it just happens coincidentally, but the law of surprise really is the next. If I invoke the law of surprise after I save your life, the next good thing that happens to you is mine. Be it a child, be it a newfound inheritance, be it the fact that you just got the deed to a house, like you just happen to find it. So the law of surprise, like the next good thing, kind of is gonna come my way instead of go to you. So just
Absolutely. So
yeah,
when it
but
gets
it's scary.
invoked in the Netflix series and then 10 seconds later, not even 10 seconds later, something happens, it's like, oh shit, this is a video game plot right here. Here we go. Even Garrett was like, fuck.
Fuck.
Mm,
He is a mood.
mm,
When Geralt says fuck, I always
Mm.
appreciate what
Fuck.
happens next.
mm. Fuck. Well, they're about to start filming season 2, so I'm very excited.
Good.
Yep, I was
Um,
kind of thrown off because on Reddit they showed a video of like praise the cameraman, which is a great subreddit showing cameraman's work or cameramen's work, camera people. There we go. I want to be inclusive. And it showed like a cool scene of how they filmed in a continuous shot how somebody's trying to escape somebody and then jumping out a wall or like a window or something. That never got shown in the actual Netflix series. I didn't see that, so I'm kind of excited to see how things turn out. I really enjoyed it, despite never touching a Witcher game beyond an hour, and it's cool. It was
Good.
funny. It
I'm
had a
glad.
lot of quirky humor that added to it, and I understand why people said they're upset by the lack of bath scenes with Geralt. I believe there was only a couple, but guy that plays Geralt does it pretty damn good,
Henry Cavill.
actually.
Henry Cavill. Hmm.
What a character. But yeah, that's been pretty much it for my week, man.
Mm.
So,
Fuck.
fuck. I wish I could make that the podcast title, but I know I cannot. I cannot. That would be bad. But speaking of The Witcher, this is a video game podcast, even though that was a Netflix
Video
series
games.
based off a video game, I'm pretty sure, based off a set of books. Do you think that they based it off the books or the video game? I feel like they focused more on the video game aspect.
Both. No.
Yeah.
The source material was from the books.
Okay.
But the video games, the voice acting, and the way the cinematics in the video game had an effect on how it was portrayed in the TV show, because books are books. It's all text, right? And then the video games came along and gave all these bits of text some life, and then so that helped the showrunners visualize what they wanted to do.
Right.
Henry Cavill worked with the voice actor from the video games, the English voice actor, to help develop his voice for his role.
I mean, without the Harry Potter movies, I might have not waited until book 4 to stop calling her Hermione. Thank you, Victor Crumb, for settling that little difference for me.
What?
What?
I mean, it makes sense. I can see. Yeah, I can. It makes sense. Especially.
I didn't know an American not understanding the name Hermione. I was like, okay, Hermione. Like, I had to hard block out her name because I didn't know how to pronounce it. There's so many words that you see and you recognize as characters, but you never say out loud. So when you hear it for the first time, like, I thought it was Geralt. Geralt of Riveria or
that
some
makes
shit.
sense too, because Gerard. Like it makes sense. And I didn't even know. Yeah, no, makes sense. A lot of this makes sense.
Give Geralt a gun. Make him Geraldo. I don't care. Just let him be his thing. So this is a video game podcast.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
Love video games.
Nick, speaking of Witcher, you've played some.
I've been playing more of The Witcher 3. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I don't know what it is about this game. I put on my first major playthrough, I put 91 hours. And ever since people watch the show, a lot of the streamers that I follow are like, hey, it's either been a while since I've gone back to the game, since I played the game, or I've never touched this game. Let's give it a go. And watching people play, even though I've done all the side quests and seen all the all the monster hunting contracts, seen all the main story, just watching people play makes me so happy. Like I enjoy watching people play the game. And then I caught the fever, and then I've been playing it more, as I talked about last week. And this time I'm doing something a little different. In the game, you have uh, this doesn't affect the main story. It affects the ending in a minor way, but you get to choose between Triss Marigold or Yen, like romantically.
Triss
Um,
is in the beginning of the show, right?
Yeah, Triss is the curly-haired sorceress. Yeah, she's there at the battle, and then she does the vines on the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Triss Marigold. Um, so between Triss Marigold and Yennefer of Vengerberg, that's your main romantic choices. I
Yeah.
will always side with Yen. In my heart, Yen is always going to be the one. And this is probably going to spark some sort of discussion somewhere on some fucking
Sure,
some point.
yeah.
Like, fuck
Who
you,
are the Who are the other choices? Are there characters I would know?
No, it's just Triss and Yen. Those are the two main that have like an impact on like the ending narrative.
Who's
Um,
Triss?
Triss Marigold is a sorceress that's with Geralt from The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2 games. She's there more so than Yen. I think Yen only made an appearance in this game, The Witcher 3. But lore wise, I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but lore wise, if you read the books or if you understand these characters, Yen is obviously the clear choice. And if you pick Triss, you shouldn't be. You're wrong. But I'm picking Triss just because I want to see how it's going to be different, and I'm hating it so far. But I'm committed, and I'm gonna stick with it. Um, but beyond The Witcher,
I mean, I only know Yennefer, so I'm all in with you. I understand.
Yen will always have my heart. Um, I've also been playing.
And my axe.
And my ass. What? I've also been playing a little
Go
game
on.
called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is
Dragon
the
Balls. Let's see.
uh,
Dragon
which is
Ball
the
Z.
uh, new game from I'm pretty sure it's Bandai Namco. That's the publisher. I'm gonna look
Sounds
this up
accurate.
while I.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an
Accurate.
open world action adventure game, fighting style similar to Naruto Shippuden, and I don't know about. I haven't actually seen gameplay of that Z Fighters um game, but I put
Dragon Ball
about
Z
3
Fighters is
ish.
definitely like a Tekka game compared to what this is.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about more about the action instances. I feel like it's probably similar to closer to the Ultimate Storm series. Um,
Okay.
just because it's third person and it's like 3D and it's circular and you do moves and you fly around and fight and just the fighting scenes. I That's what I think it's similar to.
Have you ever
Uh,
played a Budokai Tenkaichi game?
no.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm having fun with the fighting. The fighting, it has complexity. It can get pretty serious. I've had some challenges so far, even only about 3.5 hours, 4 hours in. Fighting, okay, cool. It's a new like I don't really play these games. It's something new to learn the combos, learn like the timings and stuff. Cool. Having a good time with that. Um, the rest of the game is kind of buggy. It's kind of slow on the uptake. there've been a few instances where, in terms of bugs specifically, there's one where you're talking to Krillin and you're just
He
standing there.
dies.
Well, no, that's normal. That's not the bug.
Sitting there and he just dies.
That's a weird
bug is
glitch. He just
the bug is if
shouts
he lives.
Goku and blows up. What's up with that?
You're just standing there talking to him, looking at each other. You're just standing on grass, and then Krillin is just gliding across the screen, and he goes off screen. But you're just like, he's
Wait,
not
you're gonna
meant to
hit
fly
on a
off.
person for flying away while he's trying to have a conversation with you?
And then you keep progressing, and then it goes to like a close up. I think you're talking to him as Gohan at this point, and then you see Gohan say something, and it goes back to Krillin, and it just shows empty space because it does a close up of where he's supposed to be. The same thing. No, you're talking to him as Piccolo, and then the same thing happens as to Yamcha when you're talking to him, and he's just kneeling down because he was training, and then he's just kneeling down, but he's gliding across the screen.
Maybe that's CyberConnect's way of saying that he's just an empty space that they needed to fill on the screen.
Yeah, Yamcha is filler material for the deaths. Somebody needs to die.
Come on, Yamcha
right.
and Krillin were two of the most powerful humans.
That's true. They're two of
True.
the most powerful humans. Yeah, no, you're
I mean,
correct.
Give Tian some, credit a little bit
Dan's
at
up there
least.
too. But I barely count. He has a fucking third eye.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Is he really?
So?
And so the game really does feel a little slow on the uptake. So imagine you're watching the start of like it literally is an anime turned into a video game. It's playing out scenes from the anime as they would from the anime, and then you just interact with like the fight scenes. That's the only time you actually take over, kind of. Right? So when the Saiyans, when Raditz first comes to Earth, and then he's like, Kakarot, I found you. Oh, who are you? You're Saiyan, I'm your brother. No way. And then they fly off, and then like, let's go fight somewhere. Okay. And then they fly off. You don't do any of the flying at that point, and you get to a place and you just fight. And then he beats you, and then Piccolo comes in, I'm gonna help you. Okay. And then you fight. Like after the fight, another cutscene, and then you go back to fighting. It does have elements where you can fly around and explore the world. And I think it's pretty okay. It's like really cool. It's what Anthem should have been, in my opinion. It honestly feels like what Anthem should have been, because the flying is super seamless. On the controller, it's a little weird because you have to use the
R1, R2
right bumper to like ascend, and then R2 right trigger to descend. And it's just getting used to it because I haven't played on a controller in a long time, at least for such a length. So it's not the exploring and the flying around feels really cool. You can go into like super flight speed, and you can zip around the ground, go underwater. You can fly through like fucking mountains, and they'll just crumble. It feels pretty good that way. But then I really don't like it when a game like forces you to walk slow, and there's a lot of that at the beginning. Like you're Goku, you're chilling, doing some mental training, and that's your tutorial. You finish that, and then Gohan's crying. He's being a bitch, basically, and he's like, I don't want to walk anymore. Pick me up. So Goku picks up Gohan, and then you walk super slow to a fishing spot that you could have gotten to in like 10 seconds if you were just allowed to run.
Hey.
What?
Hey.
Gohan's my favorite character in that whole series.
He's a terrible father.
Before he was trained by Piccolo.
He was like 4 years old.
Okay. He has no excuse. He's a Saiyan.
That's not the point.
He has abusive parents.
Like Chi-Chi, who coddled him.
That's true, but also I cannot.
Coddle's such a weak term for what Chi-Chi did to that poor boy.
Then Chi-Chi was just big chillin' when Gohan was gone for like a year and Piccolo was training him. She's like, yeah, this is fine. My husband's dead. My husband's dead. My son's been abducted by some green monster. We're just fine. I'll just hang out here. Everything's okay.
That's a big mood right there.
So the elements come in with the there's like a skill tree where you have to upgrade like points, like orbs that you collect from the world, like flying around, into like unlocking all the moves. So like you start off with the Kamehameha, right, as Goku, but you don't start off with the Super Kamehameha. And then you have to wait till Goku dies and then comes back for him to be able to unlock Kaioken, right? And then so it goes through, like, narratively it's very strong. It goes through all those stages, and then it unlocks things or the ability to learn certain moves based on where you are in that story. So you're not going to get access to super, you're not be able to go Super Saiyan until you get to that point in the story.
Oh,
Which makes
cool.
sense, yeah.
Which, yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just right now it's been such a slow upstart with the story, and then there's just a lot of like hand holding, but only because there's so many different things you can do with the game that I haven't been super entertained yet. And I've gotten to a point where I finished. I've beaten I've beaten Nappa and Vegeta, and then you beat Vegeta again as Goku.
Come on, Vegeta.
And then when you beat Vegeta again as Goku, and he's trying to charge a spirit bomb, but then Vegeta transforms and you beat him again. Then it goes through like 6 minutes of literal anime where where Gohan's like, I'm gonna distract you. Krillin tries to do the thing, he doesn't do it. Then Yajirobe does the thing, and then Goku's like, Krillin, come here, let me give you this. He's like, okay, cool, I'll take it. And then Krillin's like, okay, I can do this. And then fucking King who was it?
Yama?
Is it King Kai?
King Kai?
Who's like,
Oh,
oh,
my
you
King
don't
Kai! Oh,
aim
no,
with your
Goku,
eyes.
don't do that!
You don't aim with your eyes, you feel the evil with your mind. It's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. And he does it, but then he misses. And then
What's the button for that?
no, you don't do
Do the
anything.
evil
You're
with
just
your
sitting there
mind
watching.
button.
You're just sitting and watching, and then
Oh,
it's
man.
like it misses, and then he's like, "Go on, reflect it back. If you're pure of heart, it's not gonna affect you." He's like, "Okay, cool," and he does it, and then Vegeta is like defeated, but then he falls down, and then Krillin's about to kill him, and then he's like, Goku's like, "No, I want to fight him more." God damn it, Goku! He just tried to murder your entire planet. Kill him.
No,
That's the
he's
game so
plot
far.
relevant later on.
We need
Um,
him.
I need someone that isn't T on the fight, because Piccolo's just running up the scruff.
So now I'm at Teenage Gohan, where he's got the bowl cut, and I hate it.
Yes.
So
Right
we'll
before
see. We'll see
Super
how it
Saiyan
goes.
2.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll give it I'll honestly do my best to give it 10, 15 hours total to see if it really pulls me in. Apparently, it takes 30 hours to finish the game if you do just a story with some side quests, because there are side quests and you can roam around and explore the world. Or if you try to do everything, it'll go up to 100 hours, apparently.
Wow.
So,
With that many
okay.
cutscenes, though.
Yeah, like yeah, no, it doesn't feel like I have a lot of action or agency as a player, but it makes sense because it's a narrative driven game. Like I kind of understand why I don't, but I also don't like it so much.
Yeah. Well, I bet for younger fans of the game who don't, necessarily look for more gameplay intensive
Right, right.
games,
That makes sense too. Yeah.
big,
How's
And also for fans of the series, I can also see it being good because the game looks good.
nostalgic.
Yeah, the game looks very good, and the world and going around and stuff, because you can fight underwater too if you wanted. Let's say you're fighting over a river and they do like a move that smacks you down into the ground and you're on the river, like under like the riverbed, you can just fight there if you wanted. That's really sick.
how's the difficulty?
It's not been too bad. I think I've maybe died in combat 2 or 3 times. Because each and like with each say with Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta, they each have their own moves. So just getting used to them and understanding the timing. I've not died that often. Difficulty is not too bad. I think I've struggled maybe once or twice. But the moment like in certain things when you pay attention, instead of just button mashing like a fighter game, if you actually like play smart, you could probably get it. It's not that bad. And
Okay.
it game does a good job. Like when Goku dies and he's off doing his thing, you're playing as Gohan and you're around like level 10, 11. And then when the Saiyans finally come back to Earth and Goku comes back just in time, he's like level 18. Like they really like right
He's
now they're
legally an
scaling
adult.
things up pretty quick. Yeah.
Good deal.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it picks up. Yeah.
I'm kind of like the full story is essentially. Is it like the full Dragon Ball Z arc? Do you know? Like, is it gonna include? I
have
saw
no idea.
Cell, but I don't know if it includes Majin Buu or not.
I have no idea where the stopping point is. Because I really Nick saying it does go to Boo in chat. I'm not a big I haven't really watched Dragon Ball. Like a lot of it of anything.
Well, that's
I'm
not
just vaguely aware
technically
of all this
relevant to this. We're
information.
talking about Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, Nick just gave me the look.
In general, I have not watched any of the Dragon Ball series, like any of them,
Okay.
including the Z, GT, Kai, whatever Super, whatever you
GT
want.
doesn't count.
So,
I'm not gonna get into that. I kind of I've seen the articles. Um,
so much
I
like
j-
me Netflix Witcher to the game Witcher, how much do you feel like you absorbed from the game? Like as someone who hasn't watched much of the Dragon Ball
well, this
universe.
stuff I'm fairly familiar because I've read the original Dragon Ball and I read up to about this point with Dragon Ball Z,
Oh, in the
where they
manga.
where they successfully fought back the Saiyans. Then I know you've got Cell, you've got Frieza, you've got Majin Buu, you've got Kid Buu, you've got fucking that cat god. Like, there's just it's so much. It's just
Beerus.
Goku
Cat
just wants to
God.
fight. Dude, he just wants to fight. He's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna protect everybody. I'm not a Saiyan. He's got Saiyan blood in him. Just fucking accept it. And he does at some point, which is why I'm assuming he gets like Super Saiyan form. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's very true. Goku, bad father, loves to fight.
Yes.
And also,
Bad dad.
I didn't know, and people probably know this. I did not know that he had a second kid.
Yeah.
Goten, yeah.
Goten.
I did not know that.
I believe he has a third one technically. I'm not sure if it was. I thought he had a third one sometime, like at the.
Well, I know Gohan has Pan, but I don't know if Goku ever has a third kid.
Some reason, maybe I was thinking GT. I'm not sure. I thought there was a third kid
Maybe
that gets like
GT.
showed at the end of the game or something. But yeah, like the big thing is Gohan and Goten.
Like,
So
I was looking through the wiki for like some of the timeline and some of the bits. All this is all I remember. Goku as a kid. Gohan is now old as fuck. Krillin fucks a robot.
He's an
Vegeta
android,
becomes
alright?
Krillin fucks a robot. Vegeta becomes domesticated.
Vegeta becomes. It's like you keep Vegeta in a crate for 90 days and he finally becomes tame.
Bulma stays hot.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. This game is something else. This universe is something else. Is what I like. It's just people want to. Honestly, what I've absorbed so far. I'm honestly, for anybody listening, I'm not trying to shit on Dragon Ball. This is an outsider's perspective. It just seems like it's somebody who just wants to fight and keep fighting, so they just throw in plot around that to make sure that he can't fight. That's it.
And they make sure everybody fucking waits until he can fight.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
big guy, we must hold him off. No, we can't defeat him. We can't do anything. Pool our resources together and fight him. We must hold him off, and
Hold
then
him off until
Goku will
gets there.
arrive 5 minutes after you're hoping he would.
You would think that, sure, like Krillin's limitation is that he's human, but you would think that he would have gotten like a little more capable over time. But
He's got. Well,
He
that's
grew
the big
hair.
thing is that. Well,
Yeah,
the
he did
Krillin-
grow
Oh
hair,
my
that's weird.
god! When he became a cop. No, the big thing with them is that the Saiyans literally like their ceiling is exponential compared to a human. Because every
'Cause
time
money.
they're defeated, it's like their genetic code rewires them to be stronger and have a higher power level. So every time you see them die or not die, but just lose in a fight, they end up coming back stronger, literally because they're Saiyans, which is why like even Whis is like, I have no idea how powerful he could become. And Whis is like 3 or 4 times stronger than Beerus, who is the god of destruction. So
Right.
right, and Whis is the one who trains Goku on Ultra Instinct, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Him and Vegeta.
Yeah. Yep.
And then him and Vegeta, Goku and Vegeta become part of the Space Force, and Goku decides he wants to stay dead for a while. Like, there's just so much. And then he comes back at most opportune times to continue fighting, and then all the gods are like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Yeah, you want to
Yeah,
stay
that's
dead,
cool.
but if you want to fight, that's fine.
I'm actually watching
Just come back."
the tournament of universes right now in Dragon Ball Super.
I mean,
So-
they pull somebody. I don't want to spoiler in case Nick gets into it, but they do pull other people back from death for like a little day pass so they can fight more, which is pretty cool.
One very, very specific one in Super.
What? They do that to. Okay. Anyways, so that's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Yeah. More on that next week as I
Good
learn
deal.
as I go through this journey with
With what?
this with the rest of the world apparently, because I've always kind of wanted to like actually sit down and watch it, and so that I get to play it, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool trip.
Right.
It is cool to give you a fast forward through it too, because you don't have to watch all of the
Like 16 episodes of him like just charging a spirit bomb.
My parents did not
Oh,
understand.
I will also
that
say,
liked that
sorry.
show. They made so much fun of me, even though I was like a young, impressionable kid. They were like, "You're an idiot for watching this," and I was just like,
Well, yeah, you're stupid.
"Oh."
I will say, if you have the game, haven't played it yet, or want to play it, unlike other Japanese games, in my opinion, this game does not sound as good with Japanese audio. It,
Why?
Goku sounds like,
A woman?
yes.
Whoa, guys.
And I'll tell you
Gentlemen.
why. It's it's just weird seeing this hulking mass of a person
He's
with
like 5'3".
traps on traps, just having such a high pitched voice.
Triple
It's
traps.
just the voice doesn't match up with the body for me. And then but then some of the English voices for some of the characters are also weird, but I think in English it has been better than in Japanese. That's
Okay.
just my advice or
I
like
mean,
opinion. Just try both.
I agree with you 100%. I feel like there's certain animes where they put so much fucking you money in making sure that they get quality voice actors that, like Dragon Ball Z, I think Pokemon also is the same way, where it's like I try to listen to the Japanese version of the voice actors, but it's like English does a pretty damn good job with it, as it turns out, actually. So yeah, I can understand like if that translates into the game as well. CyberConnect and Bandai Namco did good.
Yep.
So, Glenn, you tried a couple of new games. I got to watch you play a couple of these games. The first one was Outer Worlds.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really like Outer Worlds. I guess it's like if you made a combination game that was The Mandalorian and Firefly and No Man's Sky. Like, and
All
then
in
a
one,
little
huh?
bit of like Borderlands, like art style, sort of. Yeah, it's very interesting. I found a few like holdups because I decided to play it because it had like narrative, easy, medium, hard, and like really hard, and I was like, narrative. I just want to see the story. I don't care for a challenge. So things die in like one shot. None of the combat
Right.
encounters are too difficult. But it's very, very good. I feel like they've done a good job of. I don't remember. I don't even know who the studio is that did this, but I'm guessing I would like all the other things they've done because I enjoy. And once again, I'm getting into PC gaming again for the first time in a long time, and so a lot of these experiences like are new. Getting into like shooters and RPGs and stuff like that because I played a little bit of Ark and stuff, but like nothing like this where you're just dropped into a world that's completely foreign, but immediately have a very, very clear picture of exactly what the tone of this place is. And so that impressed me. But also, it feels pretty good. They have like because I haven't even left the main starting area. I don't know if you ever will, but honestly, I'd probably be okay if I didn't. Um, because and that's the same way in Breath of the Wild. Like I haven't left the plateau yet, in 8 hours of gameplay, but
Oh,
like I don't
jeez.
care. I'm just having a blast.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good time so far. I'll definitely keep playing it. They put some fun kind of like older BioWare sort of like moral quandaries in front of you, and so you have to make some choices that may or may not just really suck for someone.
Right.
And so far I've been able to kind of work my way around them and find ways that I don't have to fuck everyone over. In fact, sometimes I can make it so that it's good for, this potentially bad for everyone circumstance is good for everyone,
Right.
or at least most people. But I like the monsters, I like the guns, I enjoy kind of the aesthetic. It's also got a little bit of a oh, what's that game? Fallout. I think that may actually be the company that did it.
Yeah, so this game was made by Obsidian Entertainment that made Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. So it's got a lot of that sort of feel, and I just
Yep.
really dig it. Um, Yeah, I don't know.
But your
I'm
first
really
follower
excited.
is Parvati, right?
What's that?
Who's your first follower? I can't remember her name.
I thought it was like Pan something.
Padi or something like that. It starts with a P, and I can't remember what it is. But I think
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
it's an
if
Indian
I
name.
could romance somebody, I will romance her because she's cute and she seems nice. So like, um, but I'm excited to see what this world brings outside of this place because I do think you'll leave this place. Because the initial plot is trying to
Parvati.
find part for a ship.
Yeah.
Parvati, there it is. Yeah.
Should realize that from the Harry Potter movie. Oops.
Yeah, Parvati.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. But I've got the vicar on my side too. From the town, he was like, I'm ready to leave this place. I'll be a good hand on your ship. So, anyway, I don't want to give away too much. I won't talk about the plot at all. But the game is fun. The controls feel organic. The plot is cool. The characters are relatable. The setting is fucking alien, but at the same time, you can easily put yourself in their shoes. So I like it.
Weird the things
So
that
far.
you can find to relate that seem like absurd at most, where you're like, oh man, these guys are weird as shit, but they just want, they just want running water, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or they want power, like, well, and part of it too is I grew up in the Midwest, when like, the Dust Bowl was a thing that we learned a lot about and, Western expansion, which was not really an amazing thing, but the people that first kind of stepped into that realm that weren't trying to hurt anybody by taking our homes away and just wanted to make a home for themselves. Um, and just wanted to kind of live and let live. Like I see that in this game. It's we've come here where we were not here before, and we need to create a place where we can exist in harmony with everything around us and not kill each other while we're at it. And so, like, as somebody who had to learn a lot about that sort of history in the U.S., I was like, man, this is just the same thing, but on an alien planet.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think it's a lot of fun so far. I really dig it. That's what we
And
got so far. And then, give you more updates.
you also streamed a little bit of a certain game with Dylan, I saw. You had some fun
Yeah.
getting angry at who shot first.
Yeah. I don't usually like first person shooters. Um Usually, unless it's like Outer Worlds with an RPG element. Um but Modern Warfare is really fun.
Is it?
I Yeah, I mean, I
That's
like.
that's a
There's
serious
times that I'm
question,
like,
is it? I have no
"Ah!"
idea.
Yeah, no, I get mad sometimes for sure, and I rage a little bit, but it's always something that I just move on from quickly, or I just like Apple Hoof was actually playing with us too, and he was like, "Just set the controller down next time you die, take a deep breath, it'll be fine."
It'll be
But the game
fine.
has so much replayability. I think a lot of the stuff, the customization of the guns is off the charts. It's constantly giving you new goals and things to try. I found that I really enjoy the hardcore mode more so than the other modes because the other ones, really make it so that if you've got a better gun and better armor and better perks and you played the game for a billion hours, you're just going to wreck people's faces because they can shoot you 19 times before you die because they're not, they're plebs to you. And then in hardcore mode, it's like, ha ha ha, I sprayed across your face and one bullet got you and I win. Who can pull the trigger faster? There's no, in the hardcore deathmatch, there's no, unless you earn the perk of the personal radar, the UAV, you can't see, there's no radar, there's no objectives. So there's
I don't
just
have to
team
crouch to
deathmatch,
sneak around
hardcore.
anymore. Haha.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. But then if somebody does pop one, it's like, oh man, then somebody walks up behind me because I usually tend to camp, especially when I can't see anything. But I
I
actually
was gonna
prefer
say
the
it, but I didn't want to bring it up. I was like, man, Glenn, you love
yeah.
camping the shit out of a corner.
I only on the hardcore deathmatch ones. If there's objectives, I love moving around because line of sight makes sense because there's a reason why I'm going there. But like if there's no goals and it's just a large enclosed space where you're running around and hoping to
Get a
pop
campfire
somebody,
going, throw some wieners on
yeah,
the stick.
that's the one where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna set up here and try and keep these two lines of sight, and shoot some people.
Hey, stay away
hopefully.
from my tent. I'm camping over here.
Yeah, but I think my favorite is Shipment. It's this unbelievably small map, and you
It's the
just
one
like
with all the cargo boxes.
yes,
Oh,
it's
Yeah,
God,
so
that
that
looks like a
one.
small.
fun map.
It's so fun. And this
It's
weekend,
such a tiny
for
ass
any of
map.
those that are watching, it's double weapon and regular XP this weekend. So like you can get on and just rank all your stuff up and get still cool stuff. And like the season passes only ends up being like $10. And you get a lot of really cool customizable things. But once again, only aesthetic. There's not like you can get cool guns that are a little bit better. Maybe they have slightly better accuracy or range, but they're not going to give you a big enough advantage that you can just wreck everyone with it, you know? Um, and season one's almost over, so season two is coming out. I've heard the storyline's really great. I still haven't even touched the storyline. I've just been playing multiplayer with my friends. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fully cross-platform. Apple Hoof was on his computer, Dylan was on his Xbox, and I was on my PS4, and we were on the same lobby. So, yeah, a lot of fun. I
I'm
don't want to
glad.
talk too much more about that. It's
Also,
Modern
friendly
Warfare.
fire is the thing. I watched somebody
Yeah,
murder
it
you
is.
brutally. It's like,
Yep, in
oof.
hardcore. Yep. There was actually a game right towards the end, I think. There was a group, and I try not to get too political, but they were all in a clan called Trump, and so I just shot them every time I saw them uh, on my team because I was like, and they were jerk players too. Like when I wasn't shooting them, they were just being very selfish, and it was no good. So they deserved it. It's whatever. But then I've only been playing one other game just to move on from that, and that's WoW Classic and Blackwing Lair is coming out soon.
You've
And
been
so
saying
my
that for
guild had
weeks
like
now,
a
Glenn. I don't believe you anymore.
that's just what they say. That's what they tell me. But we had a big like
Good
guild
time to come, lads.
uh town hall meeting where we talked about working on choosing a new loot system that we wanted to get implemented before Blackwing Lair comes out, just so
Oh gosh,
uh
did they do Dragon Kill points? Please tell me they tried Dragon Kill points.
uh we're thinking about a point-based system, a point-based merit system. It may not be DKP, but uh there's a decent amount of push for both sides of it. But the big part about this group is that they want to remain um appealing to both serious and casual players. There's guys like me who play 5 hours a week, and then there's other guys that, grind out, 80 to 120 hours still every week. They're on almost all the time. And all of us raid, and so they want to make sure that, sure, if you play all the time and you grind hard and you've got half the blessings of the Windseeker, yeah, you're going to get that legendary when it drops. But like, other than that sort of thing, they're not going to favor those other guys because in the raid, we all contributed and you ground the hell out of the game. So you have a bunch of elemental grinding stone or sharpening stones. And so you are doing a little more damage than, Razeth over here. But Razeth is still here doing his part. And so he should have an even shot at this loot. So they just wanted to make sure they found a way that everybody could be as happy as possible. So I'm interested to see when that. Oh my god, I should have checked Discord to see if that if that vote came out. Oh no, is the
Oh
vote
no,
out?
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. I have to check. But anyway, that's all I've been playing this week. Sorry.
That's fair. Jeez. I got to play with two different important people, two different games. Nick, you and I beat Halo Reach together.
Was that this past week?
I'm pretty sure it was Saturday night, yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We beat Halo Reach.
You beat. I said it
Ooh.
so you believe it. So that was my first Halo game I've beaten since Halo 3. So I got two of them under the belt now. I think I
So
might have
beyond
beat
the
Halo
voice
2.
acting, beyond the voice acting, what you think of the Halo Reach story?
Beyond the voice acting, beyond the story plots, beyond the scripted fight scenes, it was pretty good. I loved the story. Didn't care for like actually participating in it at a certain point. It's like, okay, I'm shooting these guys to get them out of the way so I can see what happens next because I want to see what happens next. But I had a good time. Appreciated shooting that Spartan laser thing. There's a couple intense moments where we got to do some cool stuff, and then fuck, I think we died.
Yeah, towards the end, the last few fights, um, I don't know if it was just coincidence or we actually just happened to work together as a team without communicating. But there was some really cool moments where I'd be struggling and you'd come in either with a grav hammer or some big explosive and save my ass, or then I'd just pick people off from a distance and you just protect me on the close range. It was just a good time overall.
I'm glad. I sometimes I worry that I'm a bit of a like a lone wolf team person. You know, it's like I work better by myself over here in the opposite corner, but it's like, oh, I'm a support character at best.
No, that's how it can be sometimes too. Like, I was worried that I was blowing through some of the stuff too quick and like finishing the encounters too quick, just because I played this game before. I know where to go, kind of thing. For sometimes, some places I forgot where to go even completely. But like, I was just like, I don't want to make. I want to make sure that you're still getting the experience because you haven't played the game. So I'm like,
Right.
let me slow it down a little bit.
I mean, I certainly wasn't complaining if I had no idea where a location was that would have taken me 15 minutes to find a door and you just walked right to it. Saved me a lot of heartbreak, so it's like, how am I to complain? But yeah, it was a pretty good game. Kind of stinks knowing that if I wanted to play it chronologically, I would have to go back to the first Halo game and then take a small hit. I know they remastered it, didn't they, recently? Not on PC,
Yeah,
but
it was in 2011, I want to say, or 2012, where they put out the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, where
hmm.
they bumped up the graphics, but the gameplay is exactly the same. And it's
Is
so you'd be
Master Chief
losing.
Collection have that version in it?
I'm pretty sure it does, and it's cool because with
Okay.
the Xbox controller, you can um switch actively between the modes, the graphical modes, between old and new.
Oh.
So you hit like I think it's the select button, and then it'll just switch, or at least that's
Nice.
what the standalone version was. I'm pretty sure I played it on my Xbox and only through the Master Chief Collection. You could just do that actively anytime you wanted to see what it used to look like then and what it looks like now.
Wow.
So you'd be losing a few like quality of life things. You'd be losing like armor abilities and stuff.
But if it was like
But for
pure
the most,
nostalgia, that's perfect. It's like,
oh
wow.
yeah, but otherwise it plays similar to Halo One.
Yeah,
Hmm.
touching on Reach, for a game that came out, when did Reach come out? You're muted, by the way, before you get too talkative there, Nick.
Yeah, no, my unmute button wasn't working. I'm pretty sure it came out 2009. Let me double check that for you.
So a game that's almost a decade old, well, over a decade old, it looks
2010.
for a game that's almost a decade old, it looks fucking good. The music done by John Williams, really fucking good. Like the game, if you told me this game came out today, I wouldn't bat too much of an eye. I'm not a graphics freak, but like the quality on some of the shit still pretty good. I've seen,
If it came out today, it'd be like a $30 game, $40 game, and like I wouldn't be mad about it.
right.
Well, do you think part of that might be too just the upscaling of your PC a little bit though too?
No, this was just a port, so like the PC doesn't actually have
Oh.
anything to do with it. Yeah, no, Halo Reach, these are all just ports. So the game is really not a bad looking game. Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition came out 2011, so the next year after
Hmm.
Halo Reach came out.
Oh yeah, I really appreciated it. It aged really well. Did a lot better than other games that came out in 2010 and 2011. Looking at you, Skyward Sword. And
Yeah.
I think Skyrim held up okay. I guess I could
It's
be
really
wrong
good.
on that. Yeah.
I've
Plus,
just played it.
there's
I'm
mods.
tainted because I played the PlayStation VR port. Doesn't work well in VR.
I'm glad that there's certain games where I want to play them nowadays that are, it's 10 or 15 years old, but then when you get to them, it's like, oh, fuck. Okay, we're doing this. Like, Final Fantasy 7, or before they remastered Final Fantasy 8, and remaster is such a loose term. Trying to go back to those games, it really burns the eyes. Like, if you never played that game before and you never had any nostalgia tied to it, it would be super dog shit. It's like, oh, I can't play this game. It looks horrible. But thankfully, a game like Halo Reach holds up. I'm glad I bought the Master Chief Collection. I'm excited to have the next game come out. Do you know what the next game is slotted?
No idea. I don't think they've officially announced, but it should be sometime soon because if I was Microsoft, it would be all of the games would come out before Halo Infinite launches.
Okay.
Okay, let's say.
Did they say
what's
which
Halo
game
Infinite?
though?
I'm assuming if they started with Reach, because this came out for both the Xbox and PC Master Chief Collection, I would assume they're going to go in chronological order now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then Infinite, which Infinite is going to launch this holiday season with the new Xbox.
Wait, there's no Halo 6? Thought they did like
Halo
a
Infinite is so Halo Infinite was supposed to be Halo 6,
yeah.
but then they felt like they lost some of their vision. So it's a soft reboot on the franchise and the universe a little bit. I think they're going to make sure they maintain some story elements, but Halo Infinite is a soft reboot, and we're going to see what they do with it. And they wanted to turn it into a saga instead of a trilogy.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm excited now. It's so weird because I thought I jumped off the Halo train, but like I could totally play the campaign with friends again, just for funsies. Like it's fun and entertaining to do. And I did play a little multiplayer with I believe it was you and Brandon, maybe? I'm not sure I don't remember who I played because I was playing a mixture between you, Nick in the chat, and Brandon, and we got to play team deathmatch, griff ball, and all that stuff. Still holds up. I enjoyed it. And hopefully we can play a little bit more. Yes.
We're looking at sometime in Feb. The first public testing for Halo Combat Evolved is going to drop.
Okay. Good deal. Something
Yeah.
to look forward to then. In the
yeah.
meantime, I got to play a different shooter game with my wife. We got to play a little game known as Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
I forced my wife to play a horror game, and it turns out wasn't that bad. It was weird because and she's behind me within earshot, so I got to be careful what I say here. Choose my words carefully. Give me a second to think this through. She thought she was a bad shooter. She thought she would have like difficulty aiming with the mouse and whatnot, and she's not a big fan of anything that's horror themed anyways, especially something that specializes in the horror genre. So Dead Space 3 feels like a god-awful fit. So it was to both of our surprises that not only was she okay with aiming, she could shoot him, as it turns out, shoot him quite well, as it turns out. She wasn't like, pants shitting scared whenever she was fighting the enemies because, hey, there's a second person there and they got your back, hopefully.
Huh.
Or they're also being eaten, one of the two. And so it was interesting to not only have her play a horror game, she's able to play it with me, and we're teaming up and doing stuff together. Bless though Origin,
Aww.
aka Ubisoft, giving some shit here and there. Nick, I'm not sure if you remember this when we played. The Origin had like an issue with like one of us connecting to another player. It's like, hey, you need to activate Origin's online or something like that in order to connect to this player.
Also,
Well,
Origin is EA, not Ubisoft.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Just want to make sure we give shit to the right company.
You're right. I'm sorry, Ubisoft. How dare I?
You're not that bad yet.
Oh man. Still, it turns out Amanda and I, my wife, both had that problem. Instead of one person not having the problem, the other person did have that problem. We both had that problem. So it was like we spent a half hour trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. It's so weird and convoluted. Like, there's an option in the menu on Origin to turn it on or off. We both had it on as required. It still said we had it off. And it's like, what the fuck do we do? And some of them were like, hey, maybe you should turn off or, turn on VSync, entered window mode, do this and that. It's like, fucking why? Just connect me, damn it. But it took us a little bit. We got connected. We played a few hours. We had a good time. I really appreciated playing that with her. And I was hoping maybe we could do a little bit more sometime this weekend. But we'll see. We'll see. The options are open,
Yeah, there's 2 other Dead Spaces.
For her to play by herself. That is correct. Yes. That's correct. I'll be with her every step of the way. By the way, I'm gonna use the restroom when I know there's a boss rush happening. Lastly, over at my end, I beat Breath of the Wild this morning.
On
So
master mode?
on master mode. And I did
Congrats.
stream the last 2 hours of my gameplay on Twitch, Twitter, and all that stuff. So if anybody's interested, you can check it out at CMQ Network. Yeah, it kind of came a little faster than I thought. I defeated the 4 dungeons essentially that I needed to do, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna upgrade the set of armor that I got, which was the barbarian armor. I'm trying to keep things vague, obviously, Glenn.
Thank
For
you.
your sake. And so, I spent 2 hours like hunting monsters for materials to upgrade my stuff, and then suddenly I did it. Just like out of the blue, I was like, oh, I guess this is not going to be my night's activity. And I look around, I'm like, could I fucking fight Ganon? And yeah, I went in. I fucking fought Ganon, and I beat him. It was
Yeah, 'cause
actually
you didn't, like that fight last night that I saw. You didn't really struggle too much.
no.
And I think I don't know if you were just upplaying the fight that you were about to like have, but I don't know if you were surprised by how much you didn't struggle either.
I'm pretty sure the guy that we fought was like you. There's different levels of Lionels, obviously, and some of them
And
do
he
more
was
damage.
one below, right?
He was it's so you got the brown and red ones. You have the silver, or sorry, they're technically silver, but then you got the white ones, and then you have the gold ones. He was a
Oh, okay, he's
silver.
2 levels from. Oh, he was a silver. Yeah. So.
He was a third down.
Oh, okay, third down. Okay, so it wasn't the pure. Okay.
Because he had 4,000 health. The ones that give me trouble are the white ones that have the Lionel Crushers. Because, like for example, there's one that was the one that's over on the Great Plateau on Master Mode is a white Lionel with a Crusher. And when I fight him, if he hits me, kills me instantly. Full health gone with all my bonus hearts and everything. I'm like, oh. So I had to have fairies on me. I had to have a blessing on me to make sure I didn't die. And this fucker was burning through it left and right. I defeated him, blessed, and it gave me a crusher, basically a giant-ass club that does 109 damage. And it's like, holy smokes!
Jesus, yeah.
Like, 30 damage is, like, amazing to me. So when I see 109, it's like, okay, I guess this is what I use for Ganon, huh? Keep this bad boy for later. But then I got 3 of them. I'm like, okay, this is my life now. I guess I just it's almost comical because the weapon, Glenn, if you ever see it, you'll understand. This weapon is as big as Link himself. So it's a comically large weapon that he has sitting on his back and stuff. And with the armor that I had, it was an interesting setup to say the least. Yeah, I beat the game, got on master mode. I didn't there's a certain thing you do in the game, Glenn. You know how on the Great Plateau, Link has no idea who people is.
Yeah.
It makes it look like he's like, yeah, I have no idea who that voice is and stuff like that. Eventually, you have the ability to recover that if you want a good ending. I didn't do that. Whoops, I goofed up. So I can go back and do that. I now got a star in my save file to pretty much tell me, hey, everything's gonna suck. Any creature you fight's gonna be harder now. It's like, cool. I'm done. I think that's it for me for my playthrough of the Breath of the Wild. I don't think I want to do the 120 shrine run. I did that 3 times in a row, and that's a lot, man. Especially on master mode. And it's like I was thinking of doing the expansion stuff, and it's like the expansion stuff is great, but it's actually a challenge. And doing that on master mode doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound fun. It sounds painful. In fact, it turns out the only reason why I was able to do master mode was because the fact I got Majora's Mask most of the time. Like, there was a point where I tried walking around without Majora's Mask on, and, if a creature saw me, they'd murder the shit out of me. And so I realized this thing's essentially my hall pass to get through, like, Murder High School, essentially. And I was, hey guys, got my pass. Please don't, violate me with your god awful 8 damage weapons. Except for Lionel's, of course. Lionel's are like, I'm the hall monitor, and that pass is fake, sir. I'm gonna need you to step aside. Yeah, had a good time. Enjoyed it. Shot at dragons. Killed a bunch of Lionels. Beat Ganon. And I think I can put it down. So we'll see what happens.
Hmm. I think that's fine too, just because like it's one of those things where everybody should be able to play the game the way they enjoy it, and if that's as hard as you want it to be, awesome. I would
I
never
mean,
say somebody
I
should
really
avoid it.
do enjoy the challenge that it gives because it keeps you pressing. Like, if you don't damage an enemy within a certain period of time, it starts healing itself. So you can't just sit there and bomb it from, for a minute to try to, beat it up because that it'll just heal up before that. So you really got to think of strategy, or you might just not be able to take the fight. There's some fights that you simply cannot win with what you have on you. And that's a shitty feeling, in the first part of the game, but once you get like 20 hours in and you start to get, cool weapons, like, holy crap, this thing can hurt. It's like, maybe you can take on something now and, you can try it. Like, yesterday was the first time I started fighting Lionels. When I started streaming, it was my halfway point, and I didn't think I held a chance, but turns out, yeah, I could. It was easy enough. And it was nice. I think the big thing was the fact that I know how to make money in the game. Like, fuck you money. And using, of course I do, without cheating. Like, I have to work for it and stuff, but
No, I know, but of course, you know the most efficient way to get as much money as possible. And then you're just sitting with all this money and you don't know what to do with it.
oh, I
It's
know
not like you
exactly
do-
what I need.
It's not like you do that with another game.
Oh, you're talking about Stardew Valley? Look, well, that's
your
true.
MO, man.
Look, there are certain places where they require copious amounts of money that you don't necessarily have or can afford.
Yeah.
Like, there's one point where you got to spend 10,000 rupees on something if you want to get a special perk. And Glenn's like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, it sucks.
That's a lot of money.
Glenn,
Yeah,
if I can give you a tip, if
Yes.
because in the future you'll want money, but you'll be tempted to sell your gems.
Don't sell your gems.
Don't sell your gems unless you're near end game. You never used them once in your life, and you realize you're never going to use them. Go ahead and sell your gems. Keep your diamonds and stuff. They're worth good money. It's not worth it. The secret to making money in Breath of the Wild is cooking.
Oh.
Yes,
I like cooking.
Cooking meat specifically. You cook a good dish that's meat, you can get anywhere between like 60 to 500 rupees a dish.
What?
Like, you'll eventually meet characters that you can buy and sell to, and it turns out they like good food. So what I would do is I would just go around, make PETA mad at me because I'd murder every animal I'd see, throw that sucker into a pot, cook it up, and then sell it off to the masses. And you can make a lot of money that way. Like a good hour trip, suddenly you're like 4,000 rupees in. And it's crazy because like the most money you need like in the early game is probably somewhere around like maybe 700-800 just to buy some light stuff. So knowing that you can do that is a great thing. Also,
Well, that
don't
makes me
throw
happy because I like dance whenever it does the cooking thing. Because
hell yeah, cooking is fun in that game. It's super fun.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
Because sometimes you have no idea. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna make? And sometimes like, what if I throw this Keese's eyeball into a stack of meat? And all of a sudden they censor it because it's dubious looking food. It looks so god awful.
I've had that happen way too many times already. It was
It's
so gross we couldn't show you as an audience.
This is clearly hentai. But yeah, I had fun with Breath of the Wild. I hope to like relive a little bit more of the experience with watching you when you stream it. And I think I'm gonna call it with that for Breath of the Wild for me this year. We'll see though. Maybe I'll get the bite again. It's January. I got 11 more months to think about it.
Breath of the Wild 2. Is it coming out soon?
Is it coming out
We're
this
hoping
year?
they haven't announced it, but then looking at the trailer, it looks like its assets are going to be used from Breath of the Wild, so it wouldn't be far fetched to assume
So like
that
a
it might
Majora's Mask
possibly come out this
situation.
year. Yeah, because
You know
Breath of
what
the Wild came out in
assuming does?
2017, right? I know it
Yeah.
makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm still going to assume, Glenn, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I am because I really want to play this game as much as possible, and if that means I get to play through the 95% of the game I have left and then jump straight into Breath of the Wild 2, I'm not
Hell
doing it.
yeah! Like for me, playing Breath of the Wild and then seeing the trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, it's like last night, this is a good reference on my end, I saw the Disney movie known as Tangled. I got to see, Rapunzel and all that stuff, and I was like, holy shit, Tangled is so fucking good. And my wife looks at me and goes, hey, did you know Rapunzel's actually in Frozen? I'm like, no! And she shows me this 1.5 second scene where Rapunzel and the other character, I forgot his name, bless him, uh, is walking into the place for the ceremony to happen. It's like just a little cameo. I'm like, oh shit, that's all the Tangled I'm ever gonna get. I need more Tangled. I want to see more of Rapunzel's, wild adventures.
I'm pretty sure there's a TV show.
What?
I'm pretty sure there's a Tangled TV show.
No, don't do this to me.
I'm not fucking with you. I'm pretty sure there's a
"Don't
Tangled
ruin me."
TV show.
Nick in the chat saying play Kingdom Hearts 3 again. Also, I agree.
I will
Don't-
look this up for you, but I just
don't
saw a clip on
tease my
Twitter.
heart like this.
I just saw a clip on Twitter about a TV show. It's called Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. It came out and it started airing in 2017.
Oh
and it has
my!
3 seasons. Third season premiered in October 2019.
Oh, I'm so happy! Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so giddy. Look, I played the Tangled World in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty funny. I enjoyed how they did this. I'm like, half the story doesn't make fucking sense, but it's a Kingdom Hearts world, so I guess I should expect that. It was like one of the very few worlds where I've never seen the movie before, and I was like, wow, I got a pretty good understanding what the movie is. But then when I watched the movie, it's actually quite different, because like in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's a guy being chased by a horse, and it's like, okay, Flynn Rider, one of the two main characters, is being chased by a horse. Maybe this is just an asshole horse that he happens to have. It's like in the movie, it's like, no, that horse is actually hunting this motherfucker down like a bloodhound. And I didn't know that. There's characters.
And it's also
Go ahead.
the same voice actors for the TV show, for at least Rapunzel and Flynn.
Nice.
Right, so they keep that consistency, because usually what they'll do if they take a movie, make it a TV show, they sometimes change the voice actors. That's not the case here.
Important question. I know you probably don't know the answer to this.
More,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Is this fucking TV series on Disney Plus?
Almost guaranteed.
I wouldn't see why it isn't on Disney Plus, but it aired on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
So it
Dun,
stands
dun.
to reason that there's a good chance it's on Disney Plus.
It has to be on Disney Plus, right? They took half of
Has
Doug,
to be.
a Nickelodeon special, and they took their version where they own Doug and put that on Disney Plus. Like, they have to have the Tangled TV series on Disney Plus, right? Tangled series Disney
I would say it would make no sense
Plus.
if they didn't.
I don't want the Mandalorian.
Oof, don't you?
Yeah,
I-
the art style is also different, as Nick in the chat pointed out. It's a little bit more 2D. It's really cool art style. It's like reminiscent of old style cartoons a little bit, and I really like it. It's not
Nick in the
3D
chat
like
saying
with
yes,
the,
though.
with the movie, and it makes sense because these are high production things, the movies. So it makes
Right.
sense that they would not have as much budget for the TV shows, but they didn't do a bad job. It's a little different, but it looks good.
Okay, good deal. Awesome. Gave me hope. I'm excited. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's talk about video games, because we are, in fact, a video game podcast. I think we went on a tangent there. Just a little bit.
Quite a
It's
bit.
what we're good at.
Mm.
So what better way to celebrate the fact we did a tangent by doing another tangent.
Yay!
Double
tangents!
So, we pulled together a bunch of random words and stuff that we put together to think what was, what the fuck could we possibly think of when we put these two things together, because that's the way this works now, apparently. The two words or phrases is keyboards and a game YouTubers cannot let's play.
Now, what does that mean? Let's play.
A let's play is just it's the old school. It's like it's how like a video game content creation started. It's just a person playing through a video game and then they'll upload that, either in its
Okay.
entirety, or like
Episodes.
no, episodes are like selected clips or like a compilation of me playing like Dead Space, right? And then you just upload that as a let's play to YouTube. PewDiePie is he's the one who
With the horror games
Popularized?
back in the day.
yeah, that's kind of the word. Like, I wouldn't say brought it to fame, but like that's part of why he's so popular. Like, that's how he started.
Right. He did
Along
full
with his
run through of
commentary.
games with his beloved commentary.
Oh man.
Yeah. So,
I miss the old days when I could watch him without feeling like a bad person.
yeah, those were the days. Now you need bleach with every video. So
For
keyboards
your eyeballs and your ears.
you listen to them? I just watch. Keyboards in a game YouTubers can't play. So this is like almost like a puzzle. What is a game that uses a
Yeah.
keyboard that YouTubers can't play?
Fortnite.
Wait, do they have to use?
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why.
yes.
Recently, part of some updates, the aim assist on controller has become so high that it's detrimental for you to play a third-person shooter such as Fortnite on a keyboard. It has seen, because of some of these changes, we have seen certain popular Twitch streamers who played on keyboard and mouse almost exclusively for years switch over to a controller.
What?
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, in Modern Warfare, if you get stuck in a game with a bunch of keyboard players, you're fucked.
Yep.
Like what?
I mean, that's the way it used to be. Everybody said, "Hey, mouse and keyboard that makes you the superior player because you got the precision and all that stuff." But
it's not even just about precision; it's also about movement speed, like turning around and how you can do things. It's just precision to like everything. But with the aim assist and how aiming and like bullet paths work, and like when you shoot a gun in Fortnite, it's all bloom. So whether you're on when you're on PC, when any time you pull that trigger, there's a cone from the tip of your gun going outwards around where your bullet can go, right? That mechanic is called bloom, right? So it's not always going to go where you're aiming. But on PC, with the controller, the aim assist is so high that you're never not going to hit your shot sometimes. Like body shots will sometimes turn into headshots.
Oh.
That's dubious at best.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I didn't have anything that I thought would fit into that slot, and I seriously agree with you. I don't know how to say that. That sounds fucking terrible, and also sounds like it fits perfectly into our randomness today.
Yeah, it's been a problem for a while. I used to play a lot of Fortnite because I like shooters, and I up to a certain point.
Like Fortnite, we like Fortnite.
Shut the fuck up. Up to a certain point, Fortnite was a lot of fun, and then shit started changing, and then they just dropped the ball. Epic. They're great at marketing. Their marketing side of Fortnite is fucking fantastic, phenomenal with the way they've grown things and how they're doing things, but just the game balancing itself. And so now with it being detrimental for you to be a PC player, not that again, I'm not against people playing on controller or PC, or like controller or keyboard. It's
So
just
he says.
with how heavily skewed it is against, like, okay, giving them some advantage, sure, but when your fucking body shots are turning into headshots,
Yeah.
you know,
It's Odd Job all over again, man.
So You speaking of Fortnite immediately made me tune out. Sorry. Uh,
That's fine.
no,
I don't blame you.
it's fair though,
I tuned out
because
halfway through that.
if you think about it, like let's say you're trying to be sneaky in some shape or form in Fortnite, on the controller, if you want to move, you can like move the Joy-Con stick just a little bit, and you'll like sneak over. Can't really do that with a key and a keyboard, you know.
I don't know. Like, there are a lot of games that have like a keybind where if you hold it and you move, you walk. So I don't know if that exists on Fortnite,
That's
but
true.
no,
I
I
didn't
agree
think
there.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. There is a variable based on how much your variable modulation with movement for controllers for most games now.
So let's say hypothetically, of course, very hypothetically, I played with somebody that has a employment with the company called Riot. The person company in charge of League of Legends. Uh, they got a little upset, not with me, thankfully, not this time, anyways, because you know how I can be, during League of Legends. Fuck, why didn't you support me harder? With a certain champion, because it didn't provide the appropriate amount of key binding. There's one champion that has a different way of how things work with the keyboards that made it hard to play. Glenn, you would know this character known as Aphelios.
Oh yeah, he's a butt.
And it turns out with like the different mechanics on how to do stuff, some reason it was acting with the keyboard, and it caused a lot of difficulty. And apparently Riot has like a good solid bragging point where it's like, we want to make sure the champions are available to everybody, even people with certain limitations of their hands and whatnot. And if I understand this correctly, this employee tries to make sure that everybody is playable by these people by trying to play with like one hand or without the mouse or whatnot. And so apparently Aphelios, without heavy customization or modding, can't be played on just the keyboard. And that apparently is frustrating.
Oh.
So I was just wanted to point that out. Fix Aphelios, make it accessible.
There's
More you know.
that. There's games like the Dark Souls series that are just nightmares to play on a keyboard because of how many. I honestly, it's just the fighting system was made for a controller, and it doesn't map out well onto a keyboard with the dodging, with the blocking, with all the different items you can use. The same thing is for Monster Hunter World. Um,
Can you
because
imagine doing a fighting game with just the keyboard?
that's true too. Like, I know a lot of people either prefer controller or they get their own like fighting pad
Right,
with
the
the
fighting
joystick and
board.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're saying though.
No, that's true too. The only other thing that I can think of might be racing games, but I found that racing games are too easy with the keyboard.
Yes.
With exclusively a keyboard.
Like
Yeah.
I was initially against it, but once I learned how to get used to it and Burnout Paradise specifically, I was okay with it. I was like, this is fine with me. I can work with this. And it turns
Yeah,
out,
because with the racing games, it's just driving forward, reverse, left to right, brake, nitro. Those are like
And
the
it-
core, and
So you
handbrake,
said, like
emergency
5 or
brake.
6 keys.
Yeah, so it's
key
really
bindings,
not
and
that
you're
bad.
good.
Yeah.
And if like let's say you got like a sharp turn with the keyboard specifically, I'm gonna get shot down by this immediately by Nick in the chat as our racing simulator expert. But like if you try to do a sharp turn, you gotta like perfectly angle like how much on the joystick that you want to, turn or whatnot. But on the keyboard, you can just really feather the button to see how much you want to turn. You can't really like keep flicking on the joystick. And so I like for me, I can just tap A if I want to hard left on the thing, but to a certain what's up?
And tap it in. It was a Happy Gilmore reference.
Oh,
Tap,
thank
tap,
you.
chippity tap and tap tap. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of a game.
Biggest-
What is a game? Let's say without a keyboard. What is a game YouTubers can let's play that doesn't have a keyboard at all on a PC? That doesn't use a controller. What is a mouse only game YouTubers can play?
A mouse only game?
Yeah. So my first thought is like maybe Bejeweled, maybe point and click adventures.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Oh, okay, I'm hurting everybody here with this. I'm sorry.
My brain.
I bet it is.
Fuck.
Civilization's one.
Yeah, you could do like a lot of RTSs because a lot of them support when you drag your mouse to the corners, the camera will move accordingly. Could you do MOBAs?
Monopoly.
No, you couldn't do MOBAs because you have to use
Eh,
your buttons because you can, like, for example, you can't click on the. You could do
yep,
that. Golf with your friends.
true. Sure.
You just need a mouse.
You can do
Yeah,
Monopoly, the video game.
Monopoly, Uno.
Oh
like
God, who can play? Nobody can really play Uno. That devil's game.
wow,
I'm with
2
you
out of
there,
the 3.
brother.
Yep, okay. I am in the minority thinking that that's one of the best card games of all time.
Colony managers.
Yep. Wait,
Like
is that a
Quesr
game?
Architect. No,
Okay,
like
okay.
Quesr Architect, RimWorld. Because those games, to my extent,
FPS.
yeah, they just support again, dragging your
FCL,
mouse to the
sorry.
edge of the camera. The screen will move the camera, and then all of the menus are clickable on the screen.
Brandon,
Mhm.
and I can't detail the reason why because it sounds suspicious as all fuck. Brandon has shown to me that he could play World of Warcraft with just the mouse, assigning all his
What?
spells and stuff to one button for his thumb, which is pretty crazy to think about. What he's doing with his left hand while he's looking at all those night elves is, up to the imagination, if you will. But
I know a streamer, which is funny, and I think somebody might do this. I know a streamer who, when he's streaming something, he'll have World of Warcraft just grinding out XP on the side because he's got a 2 PC setup. So on his one PC, he's playing one game, and on the other, he's playing something else. And then he's just like, anytime he dies or something, or in between breaks, he's just doing like fucking clicking, farming, whatever. So that kind of makes sense. I can see that being a thing.
Huh.
oh man.
They have more skill than me. I have to use my keyboard when I'm playing that game.
I mean, I would imagine obviously they're not going into heavy combat situations or anything, but
or like
you know,
raids.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't have as much to give on this, guys. I'm not as knowledgeable about like games in general since like we've talked about I'm pretty new to the PC game world, so like which games would fit into this category is not something that I'm very good at coming up with. But I have a mustache.
All right. Then honestly, I think we had fun with that. We had a hell of an episode talking about the stuff we talked about this week. We had a lot to talk about. Breath of the Wild. We had, just one of the shit talk keyboards and stuff. We did have a topic of the show, but we took almost 2 hours having fun talking about the stuff we played.
Yeah, so we can delay that topic of the show.
That was still
Oh,
video
Nick
game.
is
It was video game based.
Yeah, it was totally video game based. The reason why there was hesitation there is we're at the 2 hour mark and we haven't hit our topic of the show. Whoops! We are passionate about our video games and the weather, and I think we should call it with that then. And The
also
Witcher.
a bunch of other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good show with that then.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Nick, with your specialty being the game releases, could you take this one for me?
Of course. So coming out this week, we only got a few games for you. Starting with Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath HD, which is a remaster that's coming out on the Switch, January 23rd. This is an EA game that originally came out in 2005. So there's an HD remaster that's coming out for the Switch.
It, it's so weird because I have heard so much about Oddworld games, never touched one. Have you guys played an Oddworld game before?
No.
I have
Definitely
not.
don't even know what they're like. I just remember one of the guys looks like Jack Skellington.
Yeah, the upgraded like the HD remasters started coming out from 2010 for PC and PlayStation 3. And then it's gone to Xbox and the PS Vita and then the Wii. Then there was also a mobile build for the Android and iOS, and now we're getting a Switch version. So that comes out on the 23rd of Jan. Then we've got The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. January 23rd, coming out for the PC. It's a VR action adventure game based in the Walking Dead universe.
Ooh.
Um,
Do you think you could
I
handle
haven't
looking at a zombie in VR if it's coming at you?
like
Hmm.
it really depends on the context, honestly. I really don't like horror games, but if I'm in a setting, I just don't fucking like jump scares. It's not about the visuals. It's purely about like how the gameplay is.
How
If
does
they're
it
gonna be
present
jump
it?
scares and shit, yeah, like fuck that. But if
Yeah.
I'm in a horror, like if I'm in a world where like there's flesh and like Doom, that doesn't scare me. That like it's not the aesthetic of it. How it's, yeah, as Glenn said, it's how it's presented.
And this throws me
Right,
off.
like Arizona Sunshine is apparently really good, but it's not jump scary, you know? So,
Nick, you're typically maybe emotional once the topic becomes passionate, but you're usually a very chill person. So it throws me off so much that horror games freak you out as much as it does.
I
Like saying
don't
the
like
word.
horror as a genre. I do not like horror. I really don't. And then people are always like, "Yo, you should come watch this movie with me. Oh, you should play this game. Oh, you should watch this TV show. It's scary." I'm like, "No. What? Why do you want to scare yourselves? I don't want to. You do that.
No,
I
it's
don't like this extra cortisol and adrenaline. Please,
I
thank you."
I personally think you are in the majority of this. Like most people don't like roller coasters, as it turns out. They think it's
Okay,
dangerous.
no.
They might think it's
Okay,
scary, but it's
no, but
thrilling.
then but most people that I've met or in my life, they love horror. My sister, my mom, like weirdly enough, it's all the women in my life, and I don't understand why. Well, maybe they see a lot scarier things on a daily basis, so horror stuff is really not that bad for them. Which is a sad reality also. Anyways, before we get too serious, it's just I just don't like horror. I don't like jump scares. I don't like horror movies. My rule, if somebody wants to go watch a horror movie, is you have to buy me food, buy me the ticket, buy me a drink.
Okay,
Nobody
I'm
takes me up
listening.
on that offer.
You made a
Okay.
mistake, my friend.
You take me up on that offer, I'll sit there, be terrified, and I'll sit there through it, but I'm not paying for it. But I want to be fed and I want to be, like boozed up a little bit.
At least a little bit. That way it's like, hey, if I am frightened, I'll forget about it in the morning kind of situation.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So, so moving on from that, the last game that we have coming out this week is Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, January 24th, PS4, with the delayed release for the Xbox
Oh,
coming out on
shit.
25th of February. I'm surprised it's not Kingdom Hearts
February.
3.5.
You mean January 25th?
No, Xbox One is coming out on 25th
Oh,
of
no,
Feb.
you're right. So if I want to play this, because, this DLC is surely fit for my birthday, I could play it on the Xbox One instead. Cool. That's good to
If you
know.
wanted. Yeah.
If I wanted.
And so that's it for games coming out this week. Still a little slow. We're gonna hopefully things get pick up soon. But we're gonna move on to this day in gaming, January 20th. And there's fucking nothing again. Now I don't
Fucking
know if
nothing.
I just couldn't find anything, but there really wasn't anything. There was one thing of note. Let me see if
Good,
I can
because I have
find it.
no idea. Like, I was like, cool. Street Slam for the Neo Geo CD in the United States, 1995. No one has any idea unless you're like old school cool, knows what that is.
What about goat punks?
Goat punk or
Nah.
goat punks.
Goat-
Okay.
Goat punks.
How about Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2?
Hey, there you go.
That's a
Baldur's
pretty
Gate.
good one.
yeah.
Came up. I mean,
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. I'd never played it, but people love Baldur
Came
Gate game.
came out 2004. This is set in it's set in the Forgotten Realms. This is a D&D game.
Yes, it is. It's that style game at the very least. As my dog growls at me.
Yeah, so Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 came out in 2004, so 16 years ago. Happy birthday for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. In the same year, January 20th, 2004, Nintendo announced the Nintendo DS, the first Nintendo DS. Announced, it didn't come out, but
They announced it like, hey, this is a thing. 2 screens. And then thus Nintendo did bullshit.
And then in 2005, January 20th, Vicarious Visions was acquired by Activision, thus beginning Activision's infection of the world. Vicarious Visions have done some amazing things.
Yes, they have.
They did They did the port for Destiny 2. They did Crash Team Racing, the remaster. They did the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. They did a bunch of the Call of Duties. They did Skylanders, Band Hero, Guitar Hero,
A lot of
Marvel
Guitar
Ultimate
Hero.
Alliance 2. They did a lot of things. They did the
Shrek the
Spider-Man
Third.
game.
Shrek the Third,
They did the Kung Fu
2007.
Panda game. They did the 007 Quantum of Solace game. So that's Vicarious Visions. They are fantastic when it comes to PC ports because Destiny 2 feels fucking great beyond the questionable balancing choices of Bungie, but that's a different thing. Yeah, but that's honestly that's really it for this day in gaming. There really wasn't anything super great outside
Medal
of
of Honor
Baldur's Gate.
came out.
Medal of Honor.
Allied Assault.
Which one? How does it say? Take your pick.
Allied Assault. Yeah, that's one that I recognized.
Really? Okay. Hit us.
Okay,
What
sure,
year?
yeah.
What? Let's celebrate the birthday then.
2002.
2002.
So it's 18 years old.
18 years old. Holy smokes.
It's an adult.
Happy birthday, Medal of Honor, Allied Assault. Yeah, that didn't. I never played any of the Medal of Honor, so that's why that didn't stick out. It's also one of those things where it's not a name you hear currently, so it's not something that pinged any like flags. But yeah, no, that's also important. Happy 18th birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at LR11. You can also find me on Twitter at LRThe11th.
Glenn, I don't know what Glenn
Yo,
is wearing
what's up?
Glenn is wearing a helmet. Like he's holding up to him like this is World War II. Tell me the coordinates for the bombing. We need an artillery strike now. Glenn, where can
Fire
we
it off, champ.
where can we find you, Trooper?
Oh, where you can find me? I'm on Twitter at Glenn Houston. Glenn with 2 N's. Houston looks like Huston. Oh, sorry, my microphone was away from my face.
I
There
thought
we
I was
go.
free of this curse.
But that's it. Also on Twitch at Razeth.
How do you spell that, sir?
RAEZETH. Echo
Copy.
199er.
RAEZETH. What?
That's it.
You have no respect to your commanding officer over there. Sir, yes, sir. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler. All letters, one word. And Glenn's having a little too much fun with his beautiful mustache and helmet. You can also find our Twitter, the Casual Master Quest, set up at CMQ Network. You can also email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Casual Master Quest. We have a D&D podcast. Holy shit. Yes, we do. And we also have a Discord.
And it's getting fucking spicy.
It's
Casual
getting
Quest Masters.
Casual Quest Masters is getting spicy as shit. What the fuck is going on over there? We have, what was it? The Face Melter, the Ball Buster, and I don't think they said anything for you because you didn't. Did you introduce yourself? Did you have a name for yourself as full? The Kidnapped. Okay, and also
I know. I think they were just chanting, and then I just busted out, and then I just introduced you guys.
Yeah.
The Nightwalker. You can also check out our Discord. We do have a killer Discord going on right now. People are actually starting to join. We're having a good time with a couple updates that Nick has to review over because I did the wild things without asking, and I'm in trouble. But we'll see what happens. Glenn is locking in. He's ready for battle. So let's wrap this up. That was Glenn. That was Nick. This is Tyler. And that was episode number 83. Thank you guys very much for listening to Casual Master Quest, and we will see you next time. But don't forget, to never stop the grind. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. I'll miss you so fucking much, man. You know how much I miss you? It's like...
Next time I want to get, when you say never stop the grind, I want to get like beans and get a bird grinder and then just start grinding it away.
Oh gosh. I thought you were gonna talk like a sand grinder or something. Just